For that, insurance in focus. Now, Ambareesh Baliga is joining in. There's about 13 minutes to go for market closing. This 50-point gain on the Nifty. Ambareesh, let's not keep the best for the last. You have a stock pick, Bharat Forge. So why don't we attack that first? Tell us, why do you like that name? And yeah, go on.
Bharat Forge clearly is among the leading auto component exporters with a strong engineering technological competencies in forging as well as metallurgy. So they have the user industries across, such as passenger vehicles, commercial vehicles, oil and gas, construction and mining, power, which also now includes renewables after their recent acquisition, and they are decently large in defense also. So nearly about 47% of the revenue is from industrials. And if you see the last quarter results, they were decent. I won't say they were excellent, but they were decent numbers. EBITDA margins increased about 310 basis points. And if you look at the demand, it's quite robust as far as passenger vehicles, commercial vehicles, and the defense space is concerned. And now they are focusing on EV space, having invested in a premium two-wheeler EV bikes startup. And also in UK, they have invested in EV commercial vehicle company Teva Motors. And Bharat Forge has in-house powertrain solutions, which again is a prime piece in the whole EV chain. If you're talking of defense, they have presence in artillery systems as well as protected armored vehicles. In aerospace, they manufacture jet engine components, sub-assemblies, and structural items. And these two verticals, that is defense as well as aerospace, could actually see exponential growth if you're talking of the next 4 to 5 years. So overall, I'm expecting the revenues to grow at about 18% CAGR for the next 3 years. And we should remember that the last 4-5 years hasn't been too great for Bharat Forge. So the next 3 years, I think the growth will actually stand out. And with this, I'm expecting EPS of about in FY25 of about 35. So my target is about 1,050.
Okay, 1,050 on Bharat Forge. That's a bullish call coming in. Ambareesh, hi, good afternoon. I don't know if you could hear our colleague just talk about this, report on life insurance stocks. CNSE seems to be turning a little optimistic. There's an argument there, obviously, because the stocks have underperformed so badly. But the question is whether there'll be growth and what the current prices are really factoring in. Would you be a buyer in any of these stocks?
In fact, I've been a buyer for the last 6 months, although we've seen the stocks coming down, and especially post-budget, because of the 5 lakh plus policy issue, we had a decent correction. But I see that as a buying opportunity because whatever said and done, financial literacy is increasing, and life insurance is still an under-penetrated sector. And because of the sort of corrections which we have seen, at these levels, the valuations are quite mouth-watering. And again, you require that a waiting period for the next at least 3 to 5 years. And I'll not be surprised if we see some of them actually becoming multi-baggers. For example, something like a SBI Life or a HDFC Life can easily become multi-baggers from here.
Hi, Ambareesh. Good afternoon. Ambareesh, what about VST Tillers? That's been touted as one of those big value creators for the last many years. But it's still actually to live up to potential. Earlier, it was just VST Tillers. Then they introduced the tractors. Everyone got quite excited out there. But they have managed to sell less than 30% of their capacity. What's your view on the stock? Do you think its time has come?
No, I mean, like they always had that unique position because of the sort of, the small capacity tractors and tillers which they had, because of which they had that niche sort of a space. But then only thing which I'm worried about right now, as far as this space is concerned, is the El Nino effect. I think we'll have to wait for either a month or two to understand whether because of that we could have a poor monsoon. If that happens, I think the whole farm story goes for a toss. So because of which, in fact, at this point of time, I'll not go out and buy. I'll possibly wait for an outcome. Maybe in the next month and a half, 2 months, we should exactly know as to where we stand as far as El Nino is concerned for India.
Ambareesh, do you look at Sobha Developers? Would you be very worried about the tax rates taking place at their premises? Or do you think this decline in the stock, 13%, is actually an opportunity to buy?
No, I think any other incident which happens, which is business related, which is negative, possibly could be an opportunity to buy. But if it's a tax raid, I think one should be worried. So I will not really touch Sobha at this point of time, although I had suggested buying Sobha about 2 years back. But then because of this rate, I mean, I would possibly wait for a while. I'll not jump in and buy right now.
Okay, got that. Well, Ambareesh, thank you. Keeping it a little short today, and we look forward to our next conversation. But thank you for joining in with your specific take on some of the stocks that we've discussed.